All right, so let's move on with the lab now. So what I would do, I will go to my GNS3. So this is the GNS3. I'm going to use the GNS3 throughout this ASA technology. So what I'm going to do, this is my ASA, which I am using the 9.8 version. So currently it might be 9.17, 18 or 20 maybe. But if you're attending for the CCIE security version 6 exam, it is 9.2 only. So I will just start that one and I will create a topology so that we can configure the security zone and we can create the access list. So for that one, what I can do is that I can go ahead and take 1, 2, and 3 routers. So now this router will be the inside router. So I will rename it as an inside, and that R3 will be the DMZ. I will name it as DMZ. This one will be the outside. And I will turn on all the devices. So you can see that all the devices have been turned on. Now, gig 0/0, I want to keep it as an outside. So I will assign it to outside. Gig 0/1, I want it inside. I will assign it to inside. And gig 0/2, I want to assign it to DMZ. So I will assign it to DMZ now. Now, if you click on this ABC over here, and your interfaces should show up over here. All right, so now let's give the names: outside, inside, and the DMZ. I will say this one will be security zone 50. Inside will be 100 and outside will be 0. All right, so now I will create the network also in order to 10.0.0.0/24 network over here. And over here it will be 10.0.1.0/24. And the outside I will use 100, 24. Now with the ASA, all the interfaces will have .254. Duplicate, and this is. And coming to this routers, all the interfaces will have .1. Now I will also create some loopbacks over here. I will create a loopback called 1.1.1.1 for this one. And I will create a loopback of 2.2.2 over here and 3.3.3 loopback over here. So first what I will do is that I will configure the routers, and I will configure all the 3 routers as the HTTP to act as a HTTP server, as well as I will enable the telnet. So now what I will do, I will get a new notepad, and over here I will say that interface E0/0, IP address will be 10.0.0.1, 255.255.0, and no shut exit interface loopback 0. IP address will be 1.1.1, 255.0, and no shut exit. That's it. And I will say that IP HTTP server, IP HTTP authentication will be local, and I will say that username will be Cisco privilege will be 15 and password will be Cisco. Next, I will enable the telnet. So line VTY0 to 4, transport input telnet, and login will be local exit. So this is the configuration. I will do it on the inside router. So I will say config T, and this is what we have to enter. I will copy that one, and I will right click, take the console of ASA first. Next, it will be the inside. and next it will be the DMZ, and next it will be the outside. So we'll come to the inside now. Copy and paste, and that's it, save. Now coming to the DMZ now. So DMZ will be 1.1 and its loopback will be 2.2.2.2. That's it. No other changes. Coming to DMZ and save it. Now coming to the outside, that should be 100.0.0.1 and the loopback will be 3.3.3. Now let's configure our ASA now. So with the ASA enable, there will be no password by default, and config T to change the host name ASA v1. I will use the same one. Next, show interface IP brief. This is what you will use to check the interfaces. So you see that by default protocol is up, but administratively down because we did not configure anything yet. So now I will say that interface gig 0/0 name if will be inside. So once I enter, you see that by default it is taking a security zone of 100. All right. So I would say that IP address will be 10.0.0.254.255.255.0. Right, so 255.255.0, and I will say no shut and exit. And if I say that show interface IP brief, and now it should be up and manual. So if I say that show name if, and you should see that I do have one interface which is inside with the security level 100. Now let's go ahead and interface gig 0 slash. Now the thing is that if I go back to my topology, gig 0/0 is outside, but I have assigned it to the inside. So I can change that one. Interface gig 0/0 name if will be outside. IP address will be 100.0.254.255.0 and no shut, and I will change the security level 0. If I do not change the security level to 0, then it will show up as in 100. Show name if, now it became 0. So if I do not provide this command, this will still stay at 100 because by mistake I have assigned that gig 0/0 as the inside. So next, interface gig 0/0 will be the name if will be the inside. IP address will be 10.0.0.1. Sorry, 254. And no shut exit. Interface gig 0/2 name if will be DMZ. Security level will be 50. IP address will be 10.0.1.254.250 and no shut exit. If I say the show interface IP brief, you see that interfaces, and show name if, and you will see that name ifs. Now, I said that the traffic will be allowed from the higher security zone to the lower. So that means from the 100, that is from the inside, I should be able to get the TCP connection to the DMZ as well as for the outside. But again, we do have a routing issues over here. So first what I will do, I will give a default gateway on all the routers. So I will say that IP route 0.0.0.0.0 10.0.0.254. That will be from the inside. I will go to the inside router and I will give the route. And if I come back to the outside, that should be 100.0.0.254. I will say 100. That should be outside. And next to DMZ, that should be 10.0.1.254. And it should be in the DMZ. So now once the routing is done, so let's go to the inside, and I will say that do telnet 10.0.1.1, and you see that I'm able to get the access to the DMZ. If I say who, you see that I'm able to get the access. I will say exit. Now I will do the same thing, do telnet 100.0.0.1, and you see that I'm on the outside, and if I say who, you see that the inside, and I will say exit. That's it. Now coming to the DMZ now, so if I say that do telnet 100.0.0.1, I'm able to take the access. See, you see that? But if I say that do telnet 10.0.0.1, this is where it will not allow. So from the higher security zone to the lower security zone, traffic is always allowed, but by default, only TCP connection is allowed. So if I go back here and if I say that do ping 10.0.1.1, I'm not able to ping. So what I have to do is that in order to allow the ping is that I have to give a command 6 fix up protocol. And by default, you can allow these many commands, these many protocols. So what you are actually saying using this protocol, using this command is that I want to allow by default, the traffic is allowed from higher to lower security zone only for the TCP connection. And I want to allow these many protocols also. So in addition to the TCP connection, you are also adding these many protocols. So currently I am adding only ICMP and it should be done. So now this time if I say go ahead and ping, I am able to ping. And if I say that do ping 100.0.0.1, I'm able to ping now. All right, so this was the security zone which we have created, which we have allocated, and which we have assigned. I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.